Form MSC-134 is available in the Transaction Desk Forms library. It includes both a QR code and a direct link to the Escalation calculator, an online tool that automatically handles the math. You can also access the calculator from the Mid-Missouri Board of Realtors Launch dashboard. Before we look at example scenarios, let's quickly look at how to input information into the online Escalation calculator. Enter the competing offer information you're using to push the other offer up in the top section of the calculator. Enter the details for the offer you expect to accept in the bottom half of the calculator. What's great about the calculator tool is that you can test both offers to see which may have the highest net to seller, line O, before finalizing the figures on the document. If you've entered something incorrectly, simply hit the reset button at the bottom and start over. Always pay close attention to the figures you enter, as these can greatly affect the outcome. Example 1. This is going to be competing offers with the same cap and same compensation but differing credits. Offer 1, which we will call the competing offer. Starting amount is $450,000. Escalating factor is $5,000. The buyer's cap on the competing offer is $500,000. Buyer broker compensation 2.5%. Buyer is requesting $5,000 in closing costs. Offer 2, which we will call this offer. Starting amount is $425,000. Escalating factor is $3,000. The buyer's cap on this offer is also $500,000. Buyer broker compensation is also 2.5%. No closing costs are being requested for this offer. For the competing offer, this is the one you are using to drive up the other offer. Enter the competing offer purchase price, or the maximum purchase price of the competing offer if it contains an escalation provision. In box A in this example, that would be $500,000 because offer 1 has that amount as its cap. Enter any seller concessions being offered from the competing offer in box B. Do not include any title fees in this amount, as these are excluded from the escalation calculation altogether. In this example, that would be $5,000, since that is what the buyers are requesting for closing cost credits. Next, enter the dollar amount of any seller paid home warranty being offered from the competing offer in box C. In this example, that would be 0. Moving on to boxes D and E. Enter any seller or seller broker paid buyer broker compensation, if applicable. The compensation offered in the competing offer is in the form of a percentage and not a dollar amount, nor a combination of the two, so, knowing that information, only box D would be completed. In this example, that would be 2.5%. Since this example's offer contains buyer broker compensation only in the form of a percentage, only box D is being completed. We will look at another example where box C will be completed and what that looks like. The calculator then auto-calculates the competing offer net purchase price in box F for you. For the offer your sellers intend to accept, this will be referred to as this offer on the calculator. Enter this offer's escalation amount. Line 13 on Form MSC-134 in box G. In this example, that would be $3,000. The calculator auto-calculates box H, this offer's escalated base, by adding boxes F and G together. Enter any seller concessions being offered from this offer in box I. In this example, that would be 0. Next, enter the dollar amount of any seller paid home warranty being offered from this offer in box J. In this example, that would be 0. Moving on to boxes K and L, enter any seller or seller broker paid buyer broker compensation. For this example, the buyer broker compensation is 2.5%, the same as the other offer, so only box K would be completed. No compensation is being offered as a dollar amount in this example, so we will enter a 0 in box L. The calculator then auto-calculates the escalated purchase price for this offer in box M. Enter this offer's cap amount from line 16 on MSC-134 into box N. In this example, that would be $500,000. Box O auto-calculates this offer net price, which is $485,550. The online calculator will now calculate and display the figure for box P, which is the new seller accepted purchased price. In this example, that would be $498,000. Quick recap. The calculator will display the winning escalated price, subject to each offer's cap, and the net figures to discuss with your seller. Remember, the net on line O is for comparison only, not an official seller proceeds total. Last step, plug the figures from the calculator onto the corresponding fields of the worksheet portion you intend to finalize with the sellers on MSC-134. Quick note, if you test out the calculator by reversing the offers in this example, making offer 1 the offer your seller wishes to accept and using offer 2 as the competing offer, the net in line O would be $482,500. This is what makes the calculator so beneficial, as reversing the offers would have resulted in a net loss of $3,050 to the seller. Sometimes a lesser net to seller is acceptable if the seller may prefer other terms like a quicker closing or all-cash offer, etc. Let's quickly move on to another example. In example 2, there will be differing compensation amounts among the offers and also differing caps. Let's plug in our offer details into the calculator. Offer 1 will be our competing offer. Starting amount is $500,000. Escalating factor is $2,500. The buyer's cap on the competing offer is $550,000. Buyer broker compensation 2.5%. The competing offer also has an additional $200 in buyer broker compensation, offered as a dollar amount and not a percentage. No seller concessions. Offer 2 will be referred to as this offer. Starting amount is $515,000. Escalating factor is $2,500. The buyer's cap on this offer is $575,000. Buyer broker compensation is 3%. No seller concessions. Okay, let's plug in the figures from offers 1 and 2 into the calculator. See if you get the same results as we do. The main difference in this example is the compensation amounts being offered. Make sure to enter the extra dollar amount of compensation into box E for the competing offer in this example. Outcome: even with more compensation being offered to the buyer broker, offer 2 still nets the seller more on line O than offer 1 would. You can test that on your own using the example 2 figures and reversing them on the calculator.